Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Disturbing information has surfaced in the Southern Valley. A Fargo man, 49-year-old Todd Meyer, is facing 4 felony child sex charges after court records state he raped 2 young kids. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly joins us in the studio now with the shocking details around this case. Katie?
Andrea, Todd Meyer from Fargo is facing 2 felony counts of gross sexual imposition and 2 felony counts of child neglect. Court documents say that he took part in multiple sexual acts with the 2 children. Meyer has admitted to partaking in these actions. According to the documents, he says these sexual acts took place multiple times with both children. We are not disclosing the extensive details into this case due to the sensitivity of the matter and due to the grotesque nature of the alleged crime. This case is currently an open investigation. Records indicate that if Meyer is charged, he could face a minimum of at least 10 years in prison with 10 years of supervised probation. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Katie. We'll have more information on this case later tonight as Katie dives into his criminal history and background. One person has been taken to the hospital after rolling their car on I-94 eastbound just about a mile past the 34th Street exit in Clay County. Officials responded to the scene around 1:30 this afternoon. The left lane was shut down for some time as tow trucks were working on getting the scene cleared. The extent of the injuries is unknown at this time. But Hutch, even seasoned drivers can be caught off guard by the slippery roads and the reduced visibility.
Yes, and we still have snow falling across the valley. Visibilities have improved in the FM area. This is a look at Waskish up there in the north central portions of Minnesota. Visibility greatly reduced and the roads completely covered with snow as we head into the evening. Many areas in northwest Minnesota reporting roads completely covered. Here's Highway 66 near Drayton, and a lot of snow on the roads, reduced visibility, and some downright icy conditions. Lake Park, well, there is snow to contend with, but other locations got it a little bit worse. A look at the FM area right now from our Skycam network. We see smooth travel, but slowed across the valley. Snow continues between Fargo and Grand Forks this evening. Snow reports in general 2 to 5 from Grand Forks to Fargo. Grand Forks, by the way, reporting 4 inches at the National Weather Service office, which breaks a record for the snowiest February on record. Here's your planner for tonight. Snow continues through the evening. Additional 1 to 2 inches from I-94 and north will be possible on top of what we have, with temperatures slipping into the single digits by morning. That's what you can expect through the overnight. So challenging travel this evening, improving conditions for one day. And say it ain't so, Hutch, there's more snow. I'll have details on that here in a minute.
Just another day in the valley.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, Hutch. And make sure you can get the forecast when you need it with the latest version of the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app. Download the latest version for free so that you don't miss important alerts. Just search VNL Weather in your app store. The roads in the FM area are getting worse and worse as the day goes on. The snow is continuing to fall, leaving behind icy and snow-filled roads. Now, throughout the day, we've heard multiple reports of cars sliding off the road into ditches. Joining us live now out in the snow is Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero. Joshua, fill us in on what the road conditions are looking like right now.
Andrea, exactly as you said, today when we were driving, we saw a few cars slide off the road. Even as I was getting here, I saw a few cars that were having a hard time driving in the snow. Now, most roads in the northern and southern valley are covered with scattered snow. That's according to the North Dakota Department of Transportation. They have an interactive map, and it shows that throughout the whole eastern and central part of North Dakota, most of these highways are covered. Right behind me, you can see I-94, where earlier today there was an incident that we just mentioned earlier in the newscast where a white vehicle flipped on its top. It was right by exit 2B on Interstate 94. There were no injuries so far in that wreck. But again, NDDOT has issued a travel alert for the northeast area of North Dakota. Again, that means motorists are actually use caution on the roadways as snow fog will reduce visibility. We'll keep on track. We'll continue monitoring the roads, and we'll give you the latest at 5:30. I'm gonna send it right back to you, Andrew, in the studio, reporting live in Fargo. Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Joshua, for that live report. We'll be continuing to track the latest on the road and weather conditions throughout this evening, right here on Valley News Live. Snow emergency rules will go into effect in Minneapolis at 9 tonight, when all snow emergency routes will be plowed. As in Fargo, or similar to what happens in Fargo, all those parked on emergency routes could be ticketed or towed. And with more snow forecast for the Twin Cities, it will cause horrible road conditions, force some people to take a more creative approach for commuting to work.
Well, my first reaction was, what are we going to do with all this snow? But you have to choose to enjoy it. I play other like winter sports, and if you can get out there and make the best of it, it's not so bad.
Officials say at 8 Thursday morning, crews will plow the routes all day. A local 5-year-old is recovering from a skull fracture and minor brain bleed after attending her first Fargo Force game Sunday night. The girl's parents say during the third period, a puck went into the stands and hit the little girl in the head, sending her to the hospital.
And we had seen the puck fly into the stands a couple times earlier that night. And, you know, it's always a possibility going to a sports game that that's going to happen. You never think it's going to be you or your kid.
Svea's parents say 2 Fargo Force players came to the hospital the next day to surprise her. You can catch her full story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. President Trump says he'll let his new attorney general decide whether or not the special counsel's report should be made public. And he's pushing back against a New York Times story that says he tried to influence the investigation into his former lawyer, Michael Cohen. Nicole Killian has more from the White House.
During a White House meeting with the Austrian Chancellor, President Trump wouldn't say whether or not special counsel Robert Mueller's report should be made public.
That'll be totally up to the new Attorney General. He's a tremendous man, a tremendous person who really respects this country and respects the Justice Department, so that'll be totally up to him.
That report, looking at Russian interference in the 2016 election and possible collusion, is expected to be completed in the next few weeks before Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein departs in mid-March. The president is also locked in a back and forth with the New York Times after the paper reported he asked former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker to put U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman in charge of the case involving the president's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, even though Berman, considered an ally of the president's, had already recused himself from the investigation. President Trump tweeted Wednesday, "The New York Times reporting is false. They are the true enemy of the people." The New York Times is defending its reporting, and the president's tweet prompted a response from the paper. Times publisher A.G. Sulzberger put out a statement reading in part, "The phrase enemy of the people is not just false, it's dangerous. As I have repeatedly told President Trump face to face, there are mounting signs that this incendiary rhetoric is encouraging threats and violence against journalists at home and abroad." Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Michael Cohen pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison for campaign finance violations. He'll testify before congressional committees next week. Today, a judge granted Cohen's request to push back his prison report date from March 6th to May 6th. You now have the option to get free Wi-Fi internet wherever you are if you have a West Fargo Public Library card. The library is now borrowing Wi-Fi hotspots for up to 3 weeks at a time. If there are no other requests for the hotspots, you can renew them. You must have had a West Fargo Public Library card for at least 3 months and have no fines or overdue materials to check out the hotspot. If you have any questions, you can ask a West Fargo librarian. The North Dakota Safety Council's annual conference kicked off this morning with a keynote speaker who was juggling, doing handstands, and riding through the audience on a unicycle. Dan Thurman spoke about how to manage risk on the job and in life. He says in order to avoid worst-case scenarios, you need to avoid distractions, rushing, panic, and omitting steps. Thurman used his stunts as a way to show how he avoids risk by practicing and making sure the tricks are safe before he does them.
We all need to stretch, and I hope that at this event you will be committed to stretching your thinking, stretching into some new relationships, stretching your skills in new and different ways.
The Safety Council conference continues through Friday. We have seen the numerous pictures of your pets that you sent to our Facebook page, and in honor of National Love Your Pets Day, we would like to share one of the photos of your furry friends on this snowy Wednesday. Thanks to one of our viewers, Sharon Anderson, for sharing this photo of her 3 dogs, Bo, Jersey, and Stella. If you have some furry friends that you would like to send our way, just shoot us an email at valleynewslive.com or on our Valley News Live Facebook page. Today, the Great Plains Food Bank presented Gate City Bank with the Hunger Relief Champion Award. Officials with Gate City Bank say the long volunteer hours at the food bank over the last 20 years have created nearly 1 million meals for the homeless throughout North Dakota.
To a child, to a mother, or whatever, we have homeless needs in North Dakota, people that are in shelters or they're living out of a car or whatever, that they can come and get some food. I mean, that really is mind-boggling when you think about that. 950,000 meals.
The Hunger Relief Champion Award recognizes an individual, business, church, or organization for their contributions to end hunger. A woman